Hi everybody, Coach O'Connor here. I want to talk to you for just a couple minutes, like 2-minute drill, maybe 3-minute drill about some parenting tips. First one is learn how to shift perceptual positions. My son was interrupting me. I was writing a book and he wouldn't go to sleep. And I started getting so angry that I ran down the hall after him. And as I'm running down the hall, I said, what if Oprah had a camera up there and she was filming me for Father of the Year? Would I still be running down the hall like a madman? I just shifted perceptual position. I went from myself to an observer. Now, a lot of parents won't do this. They won't shift to observer to see, like, what if God's watching me, or what if I was being filmed for Father or Mother of the Year? Great tip, because I gained so much self-control from that shift that I was able to take his position, other. I shifted for his position. I said, what does the little guy really want? He just wants a little more attention, play a little bit. He really wanted to stay up a little bit later. So I went back and I grabbed a pillow and I snuck down and I threw it into his room. Nailed him. Perfect hit. And I ran back and I started writing my book. And he came back and he says, did you throw this at me? And we had the best time that night. Then I finally did tuck him in. He finally did go to bed. But shifting perceptual position from yourself, and when I say self, I'm talking about from your cheekbones out. You don't really see yourself. You're just seeing the world out there. Second position is other. What's the little kid feeling like? What's he really want from this relationship, or she want from this relationship? And then the third most powerful shift really is that observer position of, what if you're being filmed for Father or Mother of the Year? How would you respond? Little tip. The other thing is, when you're talking with your child, and your language is very important. So when you speak to them, be very careful on using permanent language on negative behaviors. For instance, a permanent language would be, you're always, you never pick up after yourself, you're always late. You're programming your son or daughter to never pick up after themselves and always be late. So you want to use temporary language on those types of things. Oops, you forgot to pick up your socks. This time you forgot to pick them up. You're usually pretty good about that. See, temporary language on those types of behaviors. Permanent language on things you want to see again. You're always coming through for me. You're my champion. You're my buddy. You're my pal. You're always going to use permanent language on behaviors you want to see again, temporary language on those you're trying to extinguish. The other thing is be careful on personalizing your correction on a behavior. Remember, you have to separate the behavior from the child. You know, say, you are late all the time. You are irresponsible. See, you just personalized it. You want to say the behavior is unacceptable. Behavior, you're capable of a lot better behavior than that. So permanent language, temporary language, and personalizing it and separating that from the behavior. I want to talk to you real quickly about motivational styles some young people use that are not the greatest ones, are ineffective in a lot of ways because they create a lot of animosity and potential anxiety and future problems. And the first style I want to talk about is a negative motivation style. This is those people who think of the very worst consequence before they can do something. And let's just use waking up, and hitting the snooze button. Hit the snooze button because you still got 10 minutes. Hit the snooze button again because you still got like 5 minutes. Then pretty soon you imagine, oh my God, I'm going to be late. They're going to fire me. That is a negative motivation style. And you wake up not feeling empowered and fresh and ready to have a good attitude. You're almost like you're torturing yourself with these negative consequences. So you want to imagine something useful. It might be useful to get up 5 minutes early. It might be helpful if I got up a little bit earlier. So the negative motivation strategy is thinking of the worst possible consequences. Not the best one. Another one that I see a lot is the dictator motivational style. That's when you negatively talk to yourself. You talk to yourself as if you're a dictator or an authority figure, and you're literally bringing down the house. You're like, you have to do this. You should do this. You must do this. This dictator motivation strategy is not the best. You want to kind of use an invitational tone of voice, a pleasant tone of voice, like, you might want to take care of this, or it'd be useful or helpful if you took care of this. So you've got those first two, negative motivation style, dictator style, and then you've got this one, and I'm famous for this one. When I was young, I was an imagine doing it, and I would always go, like, for instance, on the dishes. I was a very bad dishwasher in my younger days, like in 18 to 20. I had a tough time just getting on the task, because I would imagine doing it, and I was thinking, oh, I would really be inconvenient. I would even say sometimes it would suck to do those dishes. And pretty soon I've got every dish in the house dirty, and it's starting to stink. And I remember taking a pail of them out in the backyard, and I'm spraying them with the hose, and my neighbor said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing the dishes." He goes, "You don't do the dishes like that." He says, "When you get one dirty, you wash it." I've got so many dishes out there, that I can't even imagine anybody doing all these dishes, because I was imagined doing it, and it made me feel so bad that I put the task off. So the trick to that negative style is imagine it done. How good would you feel when every dish is done? Oh man, I'd feel great. Then I could just walk to the cupboard and grab a clean dish, or it would smell nice in my kitchen. So if you have that imagine doing it and it slows you down, replace that with imagine it done. How good would you feel if it was already done? And then the last one, and I was just talking to a family member about this one. It's called the overwhelm motivation style. And this is like can you imagine a big cloud over my head of tasks? Everything I had to do that day is all over my head, and it's like, it's unbelievably looming and dooming and ready to really rain down on me. This gloom cloud, I call it, like a task cloud. If you have that kind of motivational style, it's very difficult to get out from under that and to really start taking care of business. So I say replace that with, like, I don't know if you ever remember the little blocks with the ABCs on them when we were little kids, and we could make these little blocks. Get yourself 4 or 5 blocks, little task, A, B, C, D, E, and take that big cloud down and just chunk it down. It's called chunking, chunk size. So you do this chunk size tasks. It's a lot better than that motivational style of the overwhelm. So that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. I know we're getting ready to get into our anxiety series to really help you if you have a child that has some anxiety. And I was going to say, anxiety in a lot of cases is the symptom, and so you have to really think about what causes it. You can't just treat symptoms in the world. You have to kind of go upstream and sometimes hit the cause. So we're going to talk a little bit about anxiety. How did it get there? A lot of times we install this anxiety in our children. So there's some responsibility that parents have to take here too. And then what's the cure? So we're gonna get on to this here in the next video. But hey, have a great week. Appreciate you tuning in.